Hello everybody, good morning, welcome back to the Dugout Football channel where it is time for Match Week 32 predictions of the 2019-2020 Premier League season. Now, as promised, I will go back through Game Week 30 and Game Week 31 and see how I've done, and also I'll give a shout out to obviously who is the highest commenter as well. So, Match Week 30 began with obviously Aston Villa, Sheffield United, so I said a 1-1 draw for that. It was a 0-0 draw. Man City, Arsenal went for a 3-1 win to Man City. It finished 3-0. Norwich City against Southampton, I went for a 2-1 win to Norwich, finished 3-0 Southampton. Tottenham Hotspur, Man United, went for a 2-0 win to Man United, it finished 1-1. Watford, Leicester City, went for a 2-1 win to Watford, it finished 1-1. Brighton, Arsenal, went for a 2-1 win to Brighton, it was 2-1 to Brighton. West Ham Wolves went for a 1-0 win to Wolves. It finished 2-0 to Wolves. Bournemouth Crystal Palace. I went for a 2-0 win to Crystal Palace. It was 2-0 to Crystal Palace. Newcastle Sheffield United. I went for a 1-0 win to Sheffield United. It finished 3-0 Newcastle. Aston Villa Chelsea went for a 2-1 win to Chelsea. It finished 2-1 Chelsea. So another perfect score. Everton Liverpool went for a 1-0 win to Liverpool. Finished 0-0. And Manchester City Burnley. I went for a 3-1 win to Man City. It finished 5-0 to Manchester City. So I got 13 points in Match Week 30. Top scorer in the comments was Roberto Hollis with 10 points. So congratulations, Roberto, on that one. As for Match Week 31, I had a bit of a mare, it has to be said. Leicester City Brighton, I went for a 2-0 win to Leicester City, finished 0-0. Tottenham Hotspur West Ham went for a 2-1 win to Spurs, it finished 2-0. Manchester United Sheffield United went for a 2-0 win to Man United, it finished 3-0. Newcastle United Aston Villa went for a 0-0 draw, finished 1-1. Norwich City against Everton went for a 2-0 win to Everton, finished 1-0. Wolves Bournemouth went for a 3-0 win to Wolves, finished 1-0. Liverpool Crystal Palace went for a 3-1 win to Liverpool, finished 4-0 to Liverpool. Burnley against Watford went for a 2-0 win to Burnley, finished 1-0 to Burnley. Southampton Arsenal went for a 2-1 win to Southampton, finished 2-0 to Arsenal. And Chelsea Man City went for a 2-1 win to Man City, and it finished 2-1 to Chelsea, which obviously allowed Liverpool to become Premier League champions. Congratulations to Liverpool, congratulations to Jurgen Klopp as well. So for that game week I got 7 points, not a very, very good score, but someone did beat me. Guy and Ballum, you beat me. You got 8 points, so congratulations to you for that. So let's get in to Match Week 32. And we've got some very big games. Obviously, there's games on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So lots of football to come. Lots of football to come, especially because it's FA Cup weekend as well. So the games we have this week are Aston Villa against Wolves, Watford against Southampton, Crystal Palace against Burnley, Brighton against Manchester United, Bournemouth against Newcastle, Arsenal, Norwich City, Everton against Leicester City, West Ham against Chelsea, Sheffield United against Tottenham, and Man City against Liverpool. So the first game to preview is Aston Villa against Wolves. The last 5 between the sides have resulted in 2 wins to Villa, 2 wins to Wolves, and 1 draw. The last result was a 0-0 draw at Villa Park. Aston Villa, very good away point against Newcastle, has to be said. Very, very good to get that away point. They are now level on points with Bournemouth and West Ham. It is getting very, very tight now at the bottom of the table. And they'll go into this game thinking that they could get something. Obviously, the last 2 games at Villa Park, obviously a 0-0 draw with Sheffield United and a 2-1 defeat to Chelsea. But they played a lot better against Newcastle. Wasn't the prettiest game to watch, has to be said, but a very good result in the end. Wolves, they're just steamrolling every team that seems to be put in front of them at the moment. 2-0 against West Ham and a 1-0 win against Bournemouth. Yes, they had to wait their turn to get obviously the goal against Bournemouth, but that partnership again, Adama Traore to Raul Jimenez, and it was absolutely pivotal for that one. So for this game, I can only really see a Wolves win. Wolves going for Europe. Aston Villa trying to stay in the Premier League. Going to go for a 1-0 win to Wolves in this game. So we'll see what happens with that one. Watford against Southampton. The last 5 between the sides have resulted in 1 win to Watford, 1 win to Southampton, and 3 draws for their in good measure. And the last result was a 1-1 draw between Watford and Southampton, because obviously this was the game that Shane Long got the fastest Premier League goal in Premier League history. I think it was 7 seconds or something like that. I think it was 7 seconds, if my memory serves me correctly. So there we go. Watford, very poor performance against Burnley. It was again another not a pretty game to watch, but it was a very good win for Burnley in the end. Watford, they can take comfort from the fact that the teams above them or like below them are not capitalising. So I think it's going to be a very, very hard one to predict here. Southampton, oh dear. Alex McCarthy, yeah, it wasn't a great game for him. I wonder if he's going to be in the next game, because he kind of did a Loris Karius. Managed to basically pass the ball to Nketiah. Wasn't looking where he was passing the ball, and Nketiah scored, and then he really should save Lacazette's follow-up effort. But it goes straight to Joe Willock, and a great finish from Willock in that one. So obviously, I think Southampton, obviously they've got the worst home record in the Premier League at this moment in time, but away from home they're a different kettle of fish, and I think they will win this game. I do think they've got too much firepower for Watford. I think Watford fans, I think you're going to get some of these results, unfortunately. But I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Southampton in this game. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting, intriguing game. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Southampton. Crystal Palace against Burnley. The last 5 between the sides have resulted in 4 wins to Crystal Palace and 1 win to Burnley. The last result was a 2-0 win to Crystal Palace. It has to be said, Crystal Palace lost Wilfried Zaha very early on, and they really struggled against Liverpool. It was a totally dominant performance from Liverpool, but you have to say, had Zaha been on the pitch, it may have been a different matter. But Liverpool were fantastic on the night. But yeah, Palace can just take this from on the chin, and they won't face Liverpool or Manchester City every single week. So that's one thing you could say about that one. But coming back in front of Selhurst Park, they'll be pretty pleased to be back out in Selhurst Park as well, because obviously the last 2 games have been away from home, and they'll be glad to be back at Selhurst Park. Burnley, big win for Burnley. A lot's been said about Sean Dyche's future. Seems to be unhappy with the board at the moment. That would be a big blow for Burnley if he was to leave. But look, he's done a fantastic job at Burnley. There's no doubt about it. Maybe he needs a new challenge. Maybe, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in that one. So for this game, I'm going to go for a Palace win. I think Palace will bounce back from that 4-0 defeat to Liverpool. 2-0 win. I'm going for Palace to beat Burnley. Now, Brighton against Manchester United. This is a very, very interesting game for sure. Brighton 15th with 33 points. Manchester United 5th, 49 points. 5 points behind Chelsea at this moment in time. So the last 5 between the sides have resulted in 2 wins to Brighton and 3 wins to Manchester United. And the last result was a 3-2 win to Brighton. Now, Manchester United have never won at the Amex Stadium, along with Arsenal. So there we go. This is going to be a very interesting game. But Brighton, another very good result against Leicester. Obviously, Mopé missed a penalty, but you have to say it's a very, very good result. And to be sitting 15th at this moment in time with 33 points, you could say, okay, not mathematically yet, but I think they are safe. I will say now that they are safe. I think Graham Potter's done a fantastic job as Brighton manager, and I think it's going to be very, very interesting for this game, because, you know, obviously Brighton have got a very good record against Manchester United at the Amex, as I've said, 2 wins out of 2. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting game, because they're coming up against a very rampant Manchester United side who were very, very good against Sheffield United. It has to be said, they were excellent against Sheffield United. Anthony Martial scoring the first Premier League hat-trick for a Manchester United player since Robin van Persie against Aston Villa all those years ago. So, yeah, definitely very, very good for him. And to be honest, Man United fans should be very, very excited. Pogba looked really, really good. Fernandes looked a little bit off the pace, it has to be said. But if they can get that partnership between Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba, I think you're going to be looking at a very, very good partnership in there. And it's exciting times for United fans, because I think looking at it, I think they'll be determined to get top four. They're only 6 points behind Leicester, and with Leicester City dropping points recently, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting indeed. But looking at this game, Man United have never won at the Amex, but records are there to be broken. I am going to say that Manchester United will win at Brighton. Might backfire, but I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Manchester United. I just think that United will be too strong for Brighton, but difficult place to go to, and Brighton is a very, very difficult place to go to in any time. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to United. Bournemouth against Newcastle. The last 5 between the sides have resulted in 1 win to Bournemouth, 2 draws, and 2 wins to Newcastle. And the last result was a 2-2 draw between Bournemouth and Newcastle. Bournemouth, at least they were in the game against Wolves. Obviously 0-0 at half time, but obviously got the sucker punch when obviously Raul Jimenez scored a very, very good goal against Bournemouth. Callum Wilson will be suspended for this game. It's not good. It's not good. Apparently he's suspended until the 9th of July, which is a wee bit interesting. He's suspended, so they'll definitely miss Callum Wilson for sure. Newcastle, obviously a 3-0 win against Sheffield United, and then obviously a 1-1 draw with Villa. But to be honest, they're pretty much safe, aren't they? Newcastle are not going to be in any relegation trouble, and Steve Bruce has done a fantastic job. But yeah, more talk about obviously the takeover. It's gone really, really quiet in that sense. So it's going to be very, very interesting for sure. So for this game, I can only really see a draw in this one, to be honest. If Bournemouth get a draw, they'll be pretty pleased with that. And it could drag West Ham into the relegation zone. And that could be crucial for this point in the season. So, going to go for a 1-1 draw between Bournemouth and Newcastle. I just think they're going to be very, very good to see. Now, Arsenal against Norwich City. Well, is this a home banker? Well, we shall see. The last 5 between the sides have resulted in 3 wins to Arsenal and 2 draws. The last result was a 1-0 win to Arsenal. Arsenal, difficult to say, because obviously they won 2-0 against Southampton. Played really, really well in stages of that game. But what I will say is they're still lacking something in midfield, I would say. But they were creating chances. It was a very, very good win in the end, obviously. Nketiah and Willock, good to see them scoring. Good to see 2 young prospects for Arsenal scoring in that game. So really, really well done to them. Norwich, oh dear. Well, let's put it this way. If you can't win your home games, unfortunately, I think you're gone. I know you've got the FA Cup, but that's the least of your priorities, to be honest. The main priority is for you guys to try and stay in this league, and unfortunately, I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. So, I think Arsenal will be too strong in this game. I think it's the matter of the result, because obviously they'll be happy that they're back at the Emirates, so there's no doubt about that. Going to go for a 3-0 win to Arsenal in this game. I think it'll be a very, very close one, but I think Arsenal will be too strong for Norwich in this game. Everton against Leicester City. The last 5 between the sides have resulted in 2 wins to Everton and 3 wins to Leicester City. The last result was a 1-0 win to Leicester City. Everton, a very good away win against Norwich. Obviously, Michael Keane getting the goal. But Alex Iwobi has to take a lot of credit. He was very, very good in that game. And yeah, I know he's had his critics. He has had his critics, but if he can get a long run in the team, then it's very, very good. Obviously, they're coming back at Goodison Park, and do you know what? It's going to be a very interesting game because they're coming up against the Leicester City side, which I don't really want to remind you, Leicester City fans, but this is a bit of a worrying stat for you guys. Leicester City have won 4 out of their last 15 Premier League games. It's not good form at all, and it's very, very worrying as well. Yeah, Brendan Rodgers had a game in for a lot of stick at the weekend against Brighton, and quite rightly so, I would say. Made the substitutions far, far too late, and yeah, Leicester City. I mean, okay, they obviously Schmeichel saved a penalty, but it was a very, 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 very bad performance for Leicester City in that game. But this is a really hard one to call because obviously, like I said, Leicester City going for Europe. They're only 6 points ahead of Manchester United now, and if Man United were to beat Brighton, it would go down to 3 points. But obviously, Leicester City have FA Cup action against Chelsea at the King Power. So, going to be very, very interesting to see what they do for that game. So, because of obviously Everton having a couple of days free rest for this game, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Everton in this game. I just think Leicester City have not got that sort of winning touch at the moment, and unfortunately I just think Everton will be too strong. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Everton. West Ham against Chelsea. The last 5 between the sides have resulted in 2 wins to West Ham, 2 draws and 1 win to Chelsea, quite surprisingly. The last result was a 0-0 draw between West Ham and Chelsea. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. West Ham, all you have to say, they played really well in the first half against Spurs, but after that, just capitulated. They're missing Haller. They're missing a target man up front. Mikel Antonio, I know he's a good player, but unfortunately, he's just not a front man. He's just not a front man. Obviously, I had Bowen as well, but yeah, it was. I mean, you could say that the Tottenham first goal is an own goal. Maybe it shouldn't have counted, but you have to be switched on at these set pieces, and unfortunately, Suchek got the OG, and it's worrying times for West Ham. It really, really is, because now Bournemouth and Aston Villa are now on the same amount of points as West Ham, and it's only goal difference separating West Ham from being in that bottom 3. So very, very worrying times if you are a Hammer. Chelsea. Fantastic performance against Manchester City last night. Pulisic looking really, really good as well. Yeah, it was a very, very good win, and now they're 5 points ahead of Manchester United. They're 5 points ahead of Wolves as well. So, going to be very, very interesting. This top 4 race is getting really, really interesting. And, if Leicester City do get dragged into it, could be very, very interesting. Could be very, very interesting indeed. But I think Chelsea will be too strong for West Ham. I know West Ham won the previous fixture 1-0, but I just think Chelsea will be too strong. Chelsea to win at the London Stadium by 2-0 in this game. Sheffield United against Tottenham. The last 5 between the sides have resulted in 1 win to Sheffield United, 1 win to Tottenham, and 3 draws in there for good measure. The last result was a 2-1 win to Sheffield United. Sheffield United, let me just say, they'll be glad that they're back at Bramall Lane. Let's put it that way. Back-to-back 3-0 defeats against Newcastle United and Manchester United. Yeah, it's not been a very good return for Sheffield United. But let's be honest, they've had a very, very good season, and unfortunately, it's just kind of petering out a little bit. But do you know what? Sheffield United have been absolutely fantastic this season, and Dean Henderson will be back in goal, obviously, so very, very good for him. But yeah, they'll be pleased they'll be back in Bramall Lane. Obviously, they've got Arsenal in the FA Cup on, I think it's Saturday or Sunday. I can't actually remember the fixture times for that. So yeah, I think looking at this game, Sheffield United will be pretty happy to be back at Bramall Lane. Tottenham. Well, a good win against West Ham has to be said. Harry Kane back in the goals. Good to see Harry Kane back in the goals. As I've said, that first goal should not have stood the other night. Obviously, we've all known about the VAR handball rule. Unfortunately, it looked like Davison Sanchez actually hit his arm. It was quite similar to Laporte against Spurs earlier in the season, but yeah, you can understand. So I will say that now. I think it was a very, very close one there, but this is a really hard one to predict because obviously Sheffield United back in front of the back Bramall Lane. Spurs away form is not great, that has to be said. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Sheffield United. I'm going to go for Sheffield United to win this one by 2-1, but I could look really, really silly for saying that. And the final game to preview in Matchweek 32, it's the big one. It's Manchester City against the new Premier League champions Liverpool. The last 5 between the sides I was all in 2 wins to City, 2 wins to Liverpool, and 1 draw. The last result was a 2-1 win to Manchester City. City. Where do we start with them? Poor. I would have to say. I would say very, very poor. Yes, they've been really lightning on the counter attack. There's no doubt about it. But defensive frailties have to be put into question there. Saw a tweet from a very good friend of very good friend of the channel, very good friend of me as well. Sophie Richards said that this performance kind of shows that like Manchester City did not replace Vincent Kompany. Bravo to you, Sophie. Bravo. Tweet of the night last night. Man City were absolutely shocking in defence against Chelsea. Benjamin Mendy as well. Yeah, I mean, he allowed Pulisic basically. Benjamin Mendy, I think it was Fernandinho getting each other's ways. And it was a very good finish from Pulisic. Kevin De Bruyne. I'll tell you something. If Kevin De Bruyne had any other season with like Mane, Henderson being in there, then he would definitely be Player of the Year. Kevin De Bruyne has had a fantastic season. We have to say that. Bravo to you, Kevin De Bruyne. You've been absolutely fantastic this season. But obviously they'll be missing Fernandinho as well. And it's going to be interesting to see because obviously they will be giving a guard of honour to Liverpool. I think that has been agreed between City as well. So going to be very interesting. Liverpool, as I've said, the new Premier League champions, coming back from a 4-0 win against Crystal Palace. And it has to be said, it was total dominance from start to finish in that game. 4 wonderful goals. Trent Alexander-Arnold free kick, very, very good. Fabinho to Salah, and then Fabinho, wow, unbelievable strike from the edge of the box. Nice nutmeg from Martin Atkinson as well, has to be said as well. And the last goal was all about the front three. Firmino, Salah to Mane, 4-0, and it was a very, very good win. And champions performance, you'd have to say. It was a performance of champions, but all I'll say is that I'm not going to be one of those unbearable fans, let's put it that way. So for this game, don't usually predict Liverpool to drop points. However, because it's at the Etihad, they've got a very poor record at the Etihad. I think it's 4 wins in 20 games at the Etihad. Really, really poor record there. But I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a high-scoring draw. I'm going to go for Man City 2, Liverpool 2. So we'll see what happens with that one. But I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this game. So that is it. That is my Match Week 32 predictions done and dusted. I'll just go through my predictions really, really quickly as well. Aston Villa 0, Wolves 1. Watford 1, Southampton 2. Crystal Palace 2, Burnley 0. Brighton 1, Manchester United 3. Bournemouth 1, Newcastle United 1. Arsenal 3, Norwich City 0. Everton 2, Leicester City 1. West Ham 0, Chelsea 2. Sheffield United 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. And Manchester City 2, Liverpool 2. So that is it. Match Week 32 done and dusted. As always, I will leave a template of these fixtures. All you have to do is copy and paste them into the comments, and obviously get your predictions in the comment section down below. And like Roberto Hollis and Guy and Ballum, you will get a shout out in the next video. And yeah, very, very well done to both of you for being the highest predictors for obviously the last 2 game weeks. So looking forward to that one. So obviously, thank you very much for watching. Obviously, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much to the latest subscribers. I'm at 325 now, which is absolutely amazing. If I could get to 350 very, very soon, that would be absolutely fantastic. Obviously, that's the next wee target to hit. But no, thank you very much for all of your support recently. It really has meant a lot. And yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting game week. Obviously, FA Cup action this weekend, and then you've got Premier League games Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Enjoy. Lots of football to come. Lots of football to come. But thank you very much for watching. Smash a like on the video. Obviously, share out the video if you want to as well. And please hit that subscribe button as well. But thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your FA Cup weekend if your club is in the FA Cup, obviously. And yeah, enjoy your Premier League weekend as well. See you later. I'll speak to you all in the next one. See you all. Bye bye.